Welcome back to 360 Comics. My name is Joe, and I recently bought a $240 collection. I'm going to show you what I got, and you can let me know in the comments below if you think it was money well spent. As you can see, there was some pretty good stuff in here. If you enjoy this content, please remember to subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment below, follow me on Instagram, and stick around to the end of the video. I'll be talking about 2 different giveaways that I'm going to be launching this week. So as the story goes, a couple weeks ago, a guy that I know, not through comics, but rather the local music scene, messages me on Facebook and knows that I'm into comics and says, hey, a buddy of mine's selling a bunch of his comics. I picked through a bunch of it. He's got some good stuff, though. You should hit him up. And he lets me know he's got an ASM 41, first appearance of Rhino. So anyway, I add the guy on Facebook, and good sign, meaning that he wants to sell. He messages me before I even message him, letting me know that he's selling and I can stop by anytime. So we make a plan to meet up, and I head over to his place, and I got some great stuff. I asked him what he wanted for everything, and he wanted $2,000, which not only was outside of my budget, but honestly, I think it was a little too high for the entire package. So I pulled out a bunch of stuff that I wanted, ranging from cheap stuff all the way up to this ASM key, and I'm going to show you that today. Instagram saw it first, but right here we've got the Amazing Spider-Man number 41, the first appearance of Rhino. And whether we get Paul Giamatti back reprising his role, or we get a different actor, or if he's not in the MCU altogether ever, I don't really care. This is such a major villain, such a major Silver Age Spider-Man key. I needed to have it. The first page has a picture of Spider-Man cut out of it, and it does affect the story. It takes out a panel on the back, and I was pretty bummed about that. You know, if I got this graded, I think it would be a 0.5 automatically, no matter what is going on with the rest of the book. I also had someone tell me that they think since the story's affected, it might be a green label no matter what. Maybe you guys can clarify that in the comments. Let me know if you know. I was pretty sure you can get a blue label, but it's a 0.5. I'm not really sure. Please clarify if you know. Anyway, he was asking for $100 for this, which honestly, that was a great price as is, but I was definitely hesitant because of the missing panel. He ended up going down to $80, and like I said, I paid $240 for the entire collection, so this was a big chunk of that, a third of that, and $160 went to the rest of the collection that I'm going to show you next. Sticking with that Spidey theme, we got Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man number 13, my lucky number, my birthday. This is an homage cover, obviously, to Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man number 1. This time he's in the black suit, and this is a pretty iconic cover. It's a nice homage cover, and you know, people really like this one. I've seen graded copies plenty of places. This one's in really nice condition. I'm gonna look it over again. If I think I can get at least a 9.6, I'm definitely gonna grade it, and probably keep it in my personal collection to go alongside my Spider-Man number 1. Another one of my 90s favorites here, we got Spider-Man 2099 number 1. This is the first full appearance of Spider-Man 29, Miguel O'Hara. I know a lot of people like, Amazing Spider-Man 365 over this, but that's a preview. I don't consider previews to be first appearances. It's definitely a key. It definitely is a significant book to buy, but this is the first full appearance. This is the one that I really want for this character. It's got him on the cover, of course, and it's his number 1 in his solo book. But I'm excited. Hopefully this character does make it back into the Spider-Verse 2. He had a little cameo at the end credit scene. I'm hoping for it because I love this character. He looks awesome. Last of our Spidey-centric books, we've got Venom, Lethal Protector number 4, the first appearance of Scream. She's right on the cover. This one is a little bit beat up. You can tell it's been read a couple times. This will probably stay in my personal collection as a reader copy for now. Maybe I'll end up getting rid of it at some point. I think this is my only copy, though, so I'm going to hold on to it for now. We got a hot book right here. This is Hulk #1 from the 2008 run, and this is the first cover appearance of the Red Hulk Thunderbolt Ross. I personally thought this was his first appearance, but apparently it's not. He's not in the story at all. He's just on the cover, but it actually holds more value than the next book, Hulk #2, which is the first in-story appearance of the Red Hulk. And it's got this awesome cover with Iron Man. And not only did he have #1 and #2, he had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I got a nice little run there. I'm definitely going to be reading these myself. And the #2 that he had was a second printing variant, a little bit more rare. Goes for a couple bucks more than you would think it would. Just a really cool variant cover. It's actually a wraparound. Can't see the back because I have it in a bag and board, but I was happy to find that in there as well. Where are my turtle fans? We got TMNT Adventures #1. Now, this is the first ongoing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle adventure book. There was a 3-part miniseries that came out the year prior to this, and this is a 3rd printing of issue #1. It's a reader copy condition, a little bit beat up, but luckily, he had a pretty complete run. I think it was 1 through 20, and then some speckled in the 20 and 30 area. But he had most of them. I picked them all up in this collection, and this is definitely something I want to read. Definitely some nostalgia from my childhood watching that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle television show that this book is based off of. Speaking of nice little almost complete runs, we've got the Punisher #1 here, and he didn't just have this. He had 1 through 20-ish almost complete, as well as a couple other here and there, higher numbers, and I picked them all up. I'll fill in the gaps later, and I definitely want to read this because I don't think I ever read this run, and Punisher's such a cool character. He gets a lot of love. That ASM 129, his first appearance, is such a hot book. The value just keeps climbing and climbing. But I definitely want to read this series as well as Punisher War Journal. He had #1 through 20-ish about of this as well. I was happy to pick that up. And boom, we got a Punisher Warzone #1. There were 2 #1s in this collection, as well as I think about 1 through 10. So a nice little run there. This one in particular is absolutely perfect. I couldn't find a flaw on it, like to the point where it might get a 9.9. I've got to look it over, but I'm definitely submitting this one. I think it's a really cool cover with the red background, with the Punisher logo eyes kind of ripping through, and the Punisher in the foreground doing what he does best. There's been some news rumblings about Secret Wars this week. Is there going to be a series? Is there going to be a movie? I don't know. I don't know what's true and what's not. Until Marvel Studios announces it, I assume that it's all fake, but hey, we can hope. Anyway, we got Secret Wars #1 here, and this is the first time I've ever found this out in the wild. Not #1, but the blue Galactus variant. This was an error printing where instead of Galactus being purple, Galactus is blue. It's about halfway, a little bit less than halfway through the book, so look out for that if you ever see this book in the wild. And guess what? There wasn't just one. There was 2. They're both in really nice shape as well. It's not a super rare error. There's lots of them out there, but something cool to have for sure. Unfortunately, he didn't have Secret Wars 2 through 9 or #12, but he did have 10 and 11 right here. 10 with this really awesome Doctor Doom cover, and 11 just being a nice solid book in the run to collect. I used to have a full run 1 through 12 in pretty nice shape, and I ended up selling them off a number of years ago, I think around the time that I bought my house. But I hope to finish this run back up now that I have a couple of them. I found a 3 the other day as well in a dollar bin. First appearance of Titania. That's huge because of She-Hulk now. But anyway, really great cover. I love that Doom cover, and this will help me complete my run. If you've watched my other videos, you may have seen me pick this up at ZoloCon for $3. He had another copy in his collection. This one's a little nicer than the one that I got at ZoloCon, so I picked it up. I'll probably get rid of one eventually, maybe as a giveaway. I picked up a couple of complete little mini-series that he had, more for my own enjoyment, just reading them and having them in my collection. You know, they're not very expensive or anything, but here we got Death of Wolverine, 1, 2, 3, and 4. They've got these great foil covers, and I definitely want to read this story. I think it'd be an interesting one, especially because I've always been a big fan of Wolverine. But who isn't? Another X-Men character limited series spin-off right here. We've got Gambit 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I actually own this already. Mine are reader copies, but this set is in such nice condition. I actually might get all 4 graded. It would be so cool to have the complete run in a 9/8. And I've looked over number 1 already, and I really think it's going to get that 9/8. So I'm going to look over the rest before I submit them in. But these are beautiful. Be on the lookout for this. The full gold version of this cover is a lot more rare, and it's really hard to get in high grade. It's a really sought after book. It can fetch you quite a pretty penny, especially in a 9/8. So be on the lookout for that. You find the black one pretty often. It's worth a little bit, but definitely look out for that gold one. Wrapping up our little collection of miniseries here, we've got Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the complete run with these awesome foil covers, written by Frank Miller. What I think this is a retelling of Daredevil's origin and how he meets Elektra, I believe. I've got a friend who's really into Daredevil, and I asked him about these books. He said they're a solid read, and you really can't go wrong with Frank Miller Daredevil. I'm going to roll through some of the cheaper books that I got really quickly right now. First up, we've got Spider-Man 24, the second appearance and first cover appearance of Doppleganger. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, number 1, the book that started the series. Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, number 100, a milestone book and the third appearance of a great character called Spot. And there's been some rumbling about him showing up in Into the Spider-Verse number 2 as the main villain. We'll see. The Saga of Swamp Thing, number 1. This is the first issue of volume 2 of Saga of Swamp Thing from the 1980s. Spider-Man 17 with this awesome Thanos cover. Man, it's been a couple years since Infinity War and Endgame, but Thanos is still as hot as ever. Batman 114 with his awesome Joker cover. It's also one of the books in the Hush run that I've mentioned a couple times on this channel already. Check it out if you haven't. And a little run of Marvel Knights number 1 through 15. I'm definitely going to read these. Punisher, Daredevil, Black Widow, all working together. Why the heck not? Last but certainly not least, we got a bunch of trade paperbacks and graphic novels. We've got the hardcover version of Batman Killing Joke. The softcover trade paperback version of Flashpoint. We got a hardcover Batman Year 1, the Frank Miller masterpiece. We've got both Book 1 and Book 2 of the Hush trade paperback by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee doing the art. We've got one of my favorites. The movie just came out. Go check it out. Batman Long Halloween, another Jeff Loeb masterpiece. And this one that I never heard of before. We got Punisher and Batman together in a book. DC, Marvel. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll let you know how it is. Here we got my top 3 books from this collection. We've got a Silver Age Spidey key with a major villain front and center on the cover. We've got an error variant that I've never found in the wild before. And we've got a modern key issue with a killer cover. I'm happy with all of it. Remember, I spent $250 on this collection. I think it was money well spent. Let me know if you do too. Let me know in the comments. And, keep an eye out. I'm going to be announcing a giveaway this weekend on Instagram. It'll be a 3,000 follower giveaway. We hit 2,500 followers yesterday, so we're creeping up to that, and I want to give back to the community for all the support you guys have given me. I'm also at the same time going to be doing a giveaway on YouTube. I'll have a video coming out next week where I review the 53 books from Free Comic Book Day. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I am reading all of them currently, and I'm going to give you probably my top 5 as well as my top 3 kids books, just in case you have kids. And then I'm going to be giving away all 53 books. I want to give them all away. I want someone to get them, hopefully someone who wasn't able to go to the Free Comic Book Day, or maybe only got 1 or 2 books, or missed out on a book they really wanted. So I'm going to be giving away all 53 books. Look out for those 2 giveaways coming up soon. They'll be announced within the next week. Right now it's mid-August, so by the end of August, certainly all those will be on track, and hopefully we'll have gotten there, or be getting there soon, but stay on the lookout. Anyway, until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.